Hello, this video is developing inclusive approaches to research leadership. In this podcast, we explore the approaches by reflecting on bias, academic privilege, and leaning into our uncomfortability. Academic privilege refers to the privileges that certain individuals have within academic communities. These privileges can take the form of emotional support, practical support, mentorship in pursuing education and academic career opportunities, and other areas where only higher education or academic communities have access to those resources. Having privilege means that you possess an unearned advantage through some aspects of your identity in comparison to others who lack that attribute. These dynamics tend to reflect larger power differentials in society, with members of a dominant group possessing more privilege over those whose identity marginalises them by comparison. So academic privilege and privilege more generally have a real impact on the way that we behave, the way our research leadership could be taken forward. Intersectionality describes all of the ways in which an individual may be disadvantaged. This includes gender, race, class, sexual orientation, disability, age, social economical status, to name a few. It's not an exhaustive list, but without taking these aspects of someone's identity into consideration, it becomes difficult to understand the extent at which an individual may be marginalised. Reflect for a moment on your privilege. You may wish to consider your identity, your privilege within academia, and also how these two areas connect. After recognising the ways in which they do connect, or perhaps they are different, you may wish to use that knowledge to support and promote equitable outcomes for others. We may also reflect on other ways to have more inclusive conversations and awareness. Some suggestions and starting points to this are acknowledging that we all have biases, being open to feedback, and letting others challenge our assumptions, embracing diverse perspectives, and evaluating people as individuals rather than on their characteristics affiliated with a given group. Consider how you can adapt your approach or practice to reduce your bias. What does this look like? How can you embody and bring this into your research leadership? Leaning into our discomfort is another way to consider our bias. We all have a threshold for being uncomfortable. How high that threshold is varies from person to person. The higher the threshold, the more comfortable you are with being uncomfortable. However, there are some steps that we can take to really push stepping outside of our comfort zone and make it easier regardless of our natural comfort level. These things include: consider trying something new, reflecting on where your comfort zone starts and ends, developing a plan to push this comfort barrier over a period of time. As a researcher and as a research leader, how will you practice this? You may wish to reflect on what you will do by leading by example or setting a threshold of expectation. Perhaps you'll encourage more open conversations and safe spaces for discussion, and encourage others to lean into their uncomfortability as well. Reflect on what this means to you and how you can take this forward.